Hello and welcome to the Compass Alternative Certification Teacher Academy online information session. We are so glad that you all decided to join us. I am Dominique McCain. I am the talent lead for the Compass team, and tonight I'm joined by my colleagues Arturo de la Cruz and David Palin. Thank you guys for joining us this evening. We want to give you the opportunity to ask us as many questions as you have. Anything that we can help with or assist you with in navigating the process of joining us here at Compass, we are more than happy to help you with. Notice that there's an opportunity for you to chat your questions into us, and we will answer them toward the end. In today's session, if you'll look at the agenda that's displayed, we're going to address each of the items that are bulleted here in detail, and our timeline is pretty much 45 minutes for us to explain the program to you guys overall and provide details regarding training, hiring, selection, costs, etc. And then we reserve the last 15 minutes for any questions shared via chat that remain unanswered. We do try to also target frequently asked questions as we do our question and answer session, so some of your questions may be addressed. Since it's likely that those of you who are joining us are new to education or have limited experience with education, we want to start by providing you with a few definitions that you will hear often throughout the process of being certified. The world of education is full of many acronyms and abbreviations, and we know it can be a little overwhelming. So we do commit to not using acronyms that we haven't defined for you previously, but I do want to address some of the ones that we will use in the presentation. So if you would review the screen in front of you again, I'm going to actually walk through each one of these so that you guys have the opportunity to hear what they mean. So SBEC is the State Board for Educator Certification. This is the entity that issues teaching certificates in Texas. A probationary certificate is issued by SBEC and is based on the recommendation of the certifying program. In this case, that will be Compass. And in most cases, this certificate allows a teacher to teach for 1 year while completing all Texas requirements for full certification. A certified teacher is a teacher who has met all certification requirements in the state of Texas and is qualified by SBEC to teach their certification area. Your certification area is the subject or subjects and grade level or grade levels that a teacher can teach based on their certification. So for example, a generalist EC6 teacher can teach any subject or grade level from early childhood through 6th grade. And of course, the acronym DISD is what we use to refer to our district, the Dallas Independent School District.
Thank you, Dominique. Now, if you would take a little bit of time to look at why you should choose Compass. We are so happy that you have chosen to learn more about our program, and we will now explain what Compass offers that makes it the best choice. At Compass, we will provide you with intensive teacher preparation. Our preparation is about helping you serve our students right here in Dallas. During a 5-week summer program, you will have an opportunity to observe actual classrooms, teach lessons, and participate in practice-based training sessions in Dallas schools. You will be assigned a coach who will support you throughout the program and will give you focused feedback for immediate and effective results. After this pre-service preparation, you will then participate in a year-long internship, leading your own classroom in Dallas ISD. You will learn from DISD teachers, instructional coaches, and your very own coach. Please keep in mind that nearly 90% of Dallas children come from economically disadvantaged homes, and 40% are still learning English. You have an opportunity to help these Dallas children break through these barriers and build a successful life. Dallas, Texas is a big city with a large, culturally diverse student population, and therefore a focus on bilingual education. We want our students to learn from teachers who reflect the diversity of our community. Those who speak our students' languages and share their cultures bring tremendous value to Dallas ISD, which is why more than half of the teachers we train are bilingual. Compass provides bilingual teachers with the training that is supported by the bilingual ESL department, and eventually a teaching experience enriched with the joy that comes from serving their community in ways others just cannot. At Compass, we set high expectations and help you meet them. We are looking for teachers in Dallas who have set high expectations in their careers and are ready to bring that same outlook and commitment to their classroom. We know that teaching is not easy. So our program teaches you skills that will give you the confidence and the tools to be effective teachers as soon as you enter the classroom. It's for those with courage, compassion, and a proven ability to prepare our students to become college and career ready. With Compass, you will build a rich career that you can be proud of, a career marked by countless stories of children whose lives changed because of you.
So we have a question that I'm going to address now because it's actually about the agenda and timeline for this evening. The question is there actually a program to see at this time, or is it just a Q&A? As we mentioned in the opening, this is actually an info session. So we're walking you guys through all of the information that is provided about Compass. And then at the end, there will be a question and answer session.
Hopefully that clarifies things for you all. So moving right along, we're going to go into our Teacher Academy overview. The Compass Teacher Academy includes two major components. Your initial training, which we call pre-service, will take place during the summer. Your first year in the classroom, which we call the internship, will be time to refine the skills you learned during the pre-service and to complete all the certification requirements of the state. This next slide, we're going to dive a little bit more into our Teacher Academy. Pre-service training includes 5 weeks of intensive professional development during the summer of 2016. We anticipate that you will need to be available full-time on June 20th. Our dates are driven by the district's summer school because Compass training takes place in the classroom. You will have field experiences, training summer school, planning lessons, and building schools. You will receive feedback from expert coaches on your lesson planning and delivery. Our coaches will be in your classroom observing you and helping you refine your skills. During those 5 weeks, you will master many techniques from Doug Lamal's book, Teach Like a Champion, and will build your knowledge about state and district requirements, such as how to best serve English language learners or special education students. Following pre-service training, Dallas ISD will host its annual New Teacher Academy, in which DISD welcomes and onboards all teachers new to the district. Now Art will tell you a little bit more about the Teacher Academy.
Thank you, David. Good evening. Your internship has two major components designed to support your growth as a first-year teacher. We have a live coaching model where you will be assigned a Compass Effective Coordinator or a TA Field Supervisor who will serve as your first line of support. Your coach will be in your classroom often, and together you will analyze student data in the field. You will work to implement in-lesson strategies and prioritize your highest need areas of growth. Your live coaching cycle will include observation and diagnosis, setting measurable goals, practice classroom techniques, and follow-up observation and active feedback sessions. The second major component of your internship includes the following monthly professional development sessions. Compass Monthly Professional Development. These skill-building sessions focus on new intermediate Teach Like a Champion techniques and skills. They will be introduced, reviewed, and practiced often. Targeted content training. You will receive content-specific training. These are trainings that directly support the subject areas you will teach, and they will focus on both instructional and curricular strategies and resources. Region 10 training requirements. The Dallas ISD is part of Region 10, which is one of the state's education service centers. This center provides a variety of training and professional development sessions for teachers. During your internship, you will be assigned trainings to help you meet your certification requirements. Please look at the following slide closely. And let's begin by going over the campus selection process. After you have submitted your application and completed all the required tests based on the certification you're applying to, our team will review your submission to make sure you meet the eligibility criteria. Applications will also be scored based on your short answer responses. Applicants who pass the initial screening process will be invited to a phone interview before we extend offers of admission. Selected applicants will be invited to pre-service training and will have an opportunity to demonstrate mastery of the skills they will learn before Compass recommends them for a probationary certificate. I will talk more about this in the next slide. It is important to note that when you apply to Compass, you're applying to become an alternative certified teacher with Dallas ISD. But your admission into the program does not mean you have a guaranteed position with the district, or that you will receive your probationary certificate simply by attending pre-service training. We have very high expectations of our teachers, and everyone who completes the summer pre-service must demonstrate that they will have the knowledge, the skills, and the mindsets to teach our students. For that reason, the pre-service training is a 5-week audition period, during which you will showcase your strengths and we will support you in that process. You will also have multiple opportunities to demonstrate your growth throughout the classroom observations, high engagement during trainings, and by showcasing the essential traits. Let's look at the essential traits in our candidate profile. I will go over the 4 and then I will go back and explain them more in detail. We have high expectations, application of feedback and growth mindset, critical thinking, and professionalism. Now let me go back to high expectations. You believe that you can become an excellent teacher and lead high-need students to high levels of academic achievement, including students with disabilities and those below grade level. Application of feedback and growth mindset. You seek and incorporate feedback to rapidly improve. You thrive on challenges and are not uncomfortable stretching your existing abilities. Critical thinking. You make sound judgments and generate multiple solutions to challenges. And professionalism. You are reliable in meeting commitments and deadlines, complying with program and district policies, showing professional oral and written communication skills, and interacting professionally with others. District hiring for campus interns has undergone some changes from previous seasons. In an effort to increase the selectivity and quality of our campus graduating classes, campus interns must first demonstrate their ability to lead from the classroom. Hiring decisions into the district are contingent upon a successful completion of pre-service training. Campus staff will review your performance over the 5-week pre-service training before making recommendations to SBEC to issue a probationary certificate. Principal interviews may take place during or after pre-service, and you will interview for positions with candidates from other alternative certification programs. Principals make the final hiring decisions at their campus. And while these 4 steps may not always occur in the same order, all 4 must take place before campus interns can start teaching in the fall of 2016.
Thank you, Arturo. So now let's talk about the certification areas or specific content areas that have been identified as critical need or difficult to staff by the district. If you have had previous experience with Compass, attended any of our info sessions, or seen our website previous to this week, you know that we've made some updates. We've added a few certification areas, and I will address those now. One of the things to note here, though, is that if it is not listed here as one of the certification areas we offer, then we do not offer that certification area. So the list includes bilingual generalist, Spanish, EC through 6, elementary generalist with an ESL endorsement, EC through 6, elementary special education, EC through 6, middle grades, English language arts and reading, 4 through 8, with an ESL endorsement. When I say endorsement, guys, I mean you are required to take and pass the supplemental exam associated with this certification to be able to fill a vacancy or position for this particular certification area in the district. Middle grades math 4 through 8 and ESL. Middle grade science 4 through 8 and ESL. Secondary science 7 through 12. Secondary math 7 through 12. Secondary Spanish 7 through 12, which is the language other than English, and secondary special education 7 through 12. Now, one thing to point out here is although this seems to be an exhaustive list, if you have questions regarding what exam you would take for these particular certification areas, we do have some resources that we will share with you following this presentation. But please reach out to us if you need guidance with regard to which tests you would take or which exams you would need to pass to be able to get certified in these areas. Because not everyone applying may be in the same situation that you are, costs and requirements will differ between candidates. So if you view the screen in front of you, this gives an overview of the most common costs and requirements that you should expect with regard to Compass. But again, as I stated, we know everyone's situation is different, and depending on your certification area, your costs may vary. So I'm going to address them in general terms. If you have specific questions, please share them with us via chat, or you can email us once we share you our contact information. So the chart to your left shows the total cost of Compass training, which is $3,600. You should expect to pay $600 of this upon acceptance into the program, and the additional $600 of pre-assignment costs will be collected prior to your completion of pre-service training. The bottom of the chart shows you additional certification costs, which vary depending on whether or not you are pursuing a bilingual or a regular certification, or if you need to take additional tests to demonstrate your English proficiency. Our Compass website does have a detailed breakdown of these costs, and they range from $440 to $860. So what I want to point out here is, if you notice, the costs associated with Compass are $3,600. Again, $600 up front, $600 before the end of pre-service training. Then $2,400 is due during your internship, or what we refer to as post-assignment training, for the total of $3,600. The range of $440 to $860 are costs that you will incur regardless of which certification program you choose, because two things: the state requires a $131 fee for each exam that is offered, as well as certification costs. So when you pay for your actual certificate, there is a cost incurred there as well. Those other testing and certification costs do not come to the Compass program. Those are fees that you would pay at the state level through the state system. So if you look to the right of the screen, there are some other requirements prior to pre-service training that I'd like to address. These have been updated as well. A bachelor's degree with at least a 2.75 average GPA is required to join the Compass program, and it must be from your bachelor's degree. If you have a master's degree, great, we accept that. However, we must have the bachelor's degree conferred and reading a 2.75 average GPA. Passing scores on the Texas content exam for all applicants is required. Again, if you have questions about which content exam you would need to take and pass before joining us, we will be more than happy to address that. And if you are an out-of-country applicant or you did not receive your degree stateside in the U.S., you are also required to take and pass the TOEFL internet-based test, or the IBT test, with a passing score on the verbal portion or oral portion of 26 or better. So if that is your situation, again, that would be a cost that you would incur that someone who received their degree stateside would not incur. And so that's one of the reasons we talk about everybody's situation is different with regard to the total cost of the program. We do have scholarships available for selected applicants through partner organizations. Because applications for scholarships are only available after the selection process is completed and you have been formally admitted into the program, there's no action required for you at this point with regard to scholarships. And just to give you a bit of statistics, in previous years, roughly half of the cohort received a scholarship that covered the total cost of the Compass training program. So we are still partnered with that particular organization, and they do provide scholarships that will cover the entire cost of the program. So we have shared quite a bit of information with you guys, and now we've gone over all the steps in the process, and I'm going to go ahead and review this roadmap because this illustrates the full process, or what that full process might look like for a prospective applicant who selected to join our program and has successfully completed both pre-assignment training and their Compass internship. One of the things to note here is that it is our goal to help you matriculate to standard certification in the state of Texas. We are a certifying organization. Our goal is to help you get certified as a teacher. So as I walk you through this roadmap, keep in mind, all things considered, you've done exceptionally well on everything we've asked you to do in each one of these steps. And so this provides that big high-level overview of every piece. So the first thing is, all your application would have to be submitted, and please apply now. Our application is still open, and we encourage everyone to apply as early as possible. It is important that you submit your application even prior to taking your exams. Those things should kind of be happening in tandem, to be frank, because we know that there's quite a tight timeline on the test taking. So if you have not already applied, please apply as soon as possible. All applicants should also, as I mentioned, submit test results before being completely and totally formally admitted into the program. So we will have an opportunity for you to be conditionally accepted. That has happened with several applicants already. We do accept applications on a rolling basis. And so if you have not applied, please do so first, and then immediately seek to register and pay to take the exam that will be necessary for full admission. Applicants who pass the initial screening, once those applications are submitted, are invited to a phone interview. You are required, you're sent an email and told how to schedule your phone interview. Once you've completed and passed that phone interview, then offers will be extended for those selected applicants, and this step moves you from applicant to actual Compass candidate, as I mentioned with that conditional acceptance. Once we've received all of your documents, including your passing test scores, TOEFL exams, anything that's required for admission, then you will receive a formal admission letter, and you will begin to prepare to attend pre-service training. Candidates at this stage attend 5 weeks of intensive pre-service training. Again, as David mentioned previously, our start date is June 20th, and so we expect that you will be available full-time for that 5 weeks beginning June 20th. There is compensation for the summer training, and right now it's a stipend of $3,500. Candidates who successfully complete that pre-service training and demonstrate proficient performance will then be recommended for that probationary certificate we mentioned earlier. That probationary certificate now documents you as a highly qualified teacher candidate, and so you're now eligible for hire in Dallas ISD to any one of our Dallas campuses that has a vacancy in your certification area. Your name and contact information is shared with principals who are looking to hire teachers for their campus. And you should note that principals will want to interview you before extending an offer to work on their campus. Here at Dallas ISD, we are committed to talent matching. And so I always encourage applicants and people who come to our pre-service training to really think about what is the vision of the campus upon which you'd like to work. Start to think about that now, so when the opportunity comes for you to interview with principals, you're ready to ask some of the questions that matter to you. Principals then will interview candidates from Compass as well as other teachers for these positions. So you are not just being interviewed because you're a part of Compass, you're being interviewed because you're qualified now to be hired as a teacher with that probationary certificate in place. So once you're recommended for hire to a campus, you will begin your internship year as a teacher of record. This one-year internship includes ongoing professional development, live coaching and support, as well as leading instruction in your very own classroom here in Dallas ISD. So you are paid as a teacher because you operate and function as a teacher. During that year, Compass will support you to ensure you meet all of the state and district requirements for certification. Any other exams that need to be taken are included in that as well. And near the end of your internship year, your performance will be reviewed by our certification committee, and successful candidates will be recommended and will earn a Texas Standard Teaching Certificate. So at this point, you have successfully completed the Compass program because, as I mentioned before, we are a certifying entity, and it is our goal to help you seek and prepare you to become standard certified. I hope this overview gives you a better idea of what earning your teaching certificate through Compass might look like, what is expected, what is the level of support, and also training that you will receive. So now David is going to take us through to our next steps.
Thank you, Dominique. Our application deadline is April 15th, so that's coming up soon. Submitting your application early will allow you to hear if you were admitted into the program much sooner. So we encourage you to submit your application now. I cannot emphasize that enough. If you are not ready to apply yet, you should still register for your appropriate Texas certification exam. If your degree is from outside the United States, you should also register for the TOEFL IBT test. You do not need to wait until you have applied to Compass to register for or to take a required test, and we recommend that you do so as soon as possible. You will be asked to submit your test scores before we can make a decision, and it takes several days or weeks to register for, take the test, and to get those scores back. So we just want to be really transparent about what it takes to get that testing done, and we're going to go ahead and
also, I'd like to add to that, guys, that we have already gotten feedback from applicants that the testing locations here in the DFW are filling up very quickly, and that some of the dates for registering and taking those exams are considerably far out, far beyond our deadline. And so just again, in full transparency, in our previous years of recruitment and selection, we have had applicants have to travel to nearby cities, not necessarily in the DFW, but nearby cities such as Tyler, Terrell, some other places like that, to go and take exams because the testing locations have X number of seats. And at this point in the spring, anyone who's receiving an education degree with certification attached to it is also trying to take and pass these same exams. And so the competition is pretty stiff for a testing seat. And so we encourage you to inquire about where's the closest place you can take a test. Some of the smaller towns, just as a tidbit of information, some of the smaller towns actually do testing on Sundays. Some of them do testing a little bit later on Saturdays because they don't have as many people reaching out for this opportunity as the metropolitan area does. So I would recommend that you look all around. We've had people have to travel as far as Austin and Houston as well, but they were willing to do that because this is required for them to join the program.
All right. So we're going to move on to everyone's favorite section, which is the question and answers. Please submit your questions via the chat app, and we will go by and pick which ones that are relevant to everyone. Now, we may not be able to get to every single one, so please feel free to email us any questions that we do not reach. But we want to open it up for questions and answers right now. Starting with the first question, which is, as far as specialization goes, does training determine what you will end up teaching? And for ESL, do you have to speak languages other than English?
So this is a really great question. Thank you so much. Let me be very clear about something. Your training in Compass does not determine what you will teach. You actually, as the applicant, get to decide what certification area would you like to pursue. So once you determine which certification area you would like to pursue, then the very next step is taking and passing the exam for that certification area so that you now can demonstrate your competency in that content. When you join the Compass program, our focus is actually on training you on best practices in the classroom and techniques and strategies that will help you make students successful. We do provide you with content support, but that is already determined by you on the front end when you decide which certification area you would like to teach. With regard to ESL, as David mentioned earlier in the onset of our info session, as a district, we service quite a few English language learner students. We have one of the largest dual language programs in the state and as well as the nation. So all of our teachers are expected to meet the state requirements that are referred to as ELPS, which are English Language Proficiency Standards. And when a teacher has the ESL endorsement, that means they have demonstrated that they understand what's required to teach and help students who are limited English or have English as a second language as they pursue academic success in the specific content areas. So you don't have to speak Spanish or any other language to have the ESL endorsement. What you have to do is demonstrate that you understand what teaching strategies are necessary to be able to assist those students with learning the content in your class. And so that looks like some specific English language proficiency type standards, and that is actually required by the state of Texas.
Thank you for your question. Next question. Are you allowed to transfer into the Compass program? That is a great question, and actually a frequent question. You are allowed to transfer in and out of our program. If you do have a TEA ID and you're looking to transfer from another program, all you would need to do is send an email to alternativecertification@dallasisd.org, and we can give you that transfer form so that you can join our program. You're able to do that either way. If for some reason it's not working out in our program, you can fill out that same form so that you can go and transfer to a different program. Great question.
Keeping in mind that, again, the goal here is to help people become teacher certified in the state of Texas. There are multiple alternative certification programs, and it is the right of every single candidate enrolled to transfer in or out of a program, because we want to make sure that your needs are met and that as we as a program service you, we're servicing you in a way that really helps you get to your certification goal. So we have people join us who are currently a part of other programs as long as the appropriate documentation is completed, and we have people in our program who leave us and join other programs based on whatever their life entails they need to be able to reach their goals for certification.
May I add a little something to
Absolutely.
that, Dominique? Along with that is, because we're part of DISD, guess what we're going to prepare you for? We're going to prepare our teachers to meet the needs of DISD. So does that give you a advantage over other programs? We don't know, but principals have indicated to us that they like our training process, our preparation process, because we are geared towards the needs of Dallas ISD.
Thank you, Arturo.
And thank you for that question. The next question, do most Compass teachers receive a job offer by the end of the program? How often do teachers find themselves without a job by the end of the program?
This is a fabulous question, and actually, this is a question that I am very happy to answer. 100% of our teachers from Compass have found jobs following pre-service training. And one of the reasons is, just to give you a little bit of history and context, we specifically partner with our talent department, or our staffing department, if you will, to identify where are their needs right now. We have 180 vacancies in our district right now. We are projected to have another 300 by the end of April and 1,500 by the start of the school year. So we have identified through the areas in which we certify those places where, as a district, we will always need teachers, and we often calibrate with them to say, okay, is this still a high need area? Do you still need teachers in this area? So to answer your question, we've kind of done the legwork and the thinking around that so that that situation does not happen with Compass. Since the inception of this program, Compass, we have not had anyone not placed in a position following pre-service training.
Thank you for that question. Our next question, what can I do if I miss the application deadline? That is another great question. For our program, it is cyclical, so that we will continually have cohorts. We have a fall cohort as well that is dedicated strictly for bilingual certification. So we recommend still put in your application. That's always going to be what we're going to come back to. Put in your application because it's going to make it a whole lot easier if you want to go to maybe our next cohort. Your information will already be there and you can start working on those tests.
I'd also like to add, we are right now recruiting. We want you, we need you, we want you to join us now. But we do recognize that sometimes people have scheduling things that happen. For instance, you take the test, you aren't successful, you can't join us without a past exam. And so with those things in mind, as David mentioned, we do have a cyclical recruitment and selection cycle. So I would like to say, if you find that you really, really hard to meet the deadline and you just didn't meet it, although we're still open right now and we anticipate having a much later deadline than usual, the goal is to go ahead and get that application submitted because your application stays viable and we can see it for an entire year. So if you push yourself as hard as you possibly can and you don't meet the deadline, definitely continue to prepare. But we ask that you continue to push and get as ready as you possibly can to join us this summer.
Thank you for that question. Next question is, when will I be assigned a campus? That is another really good question. You will be assigned a campus and a coordinator and a mentor teacher during pre-service training. So a lot of assignments are going to be given out during that time. So it's important that you definitely get your application so we can get you lined up. Thank you for that question. And we do want to take this time to remind you to send it through chat. That's the best way so we can see your questions and we can go by there and answer them for you. Next question, will I be able to change certification areas? And that one I'll defer to. Okay. That's a very good question. And the answer to that is we strongly discourage that. It's a very rare occasion that you can do that simply because on the front end, we ask that you choose the certification that you feel most comfortable with. Okay, and for that reason, it has to be an emergency or something that's going on at the campus or something like that, because in most cases, you cannot change.
May I add something to David as well? Keep in mind that principals are the ones who make the hiring decision based on that need. And so if, for example, you're hired during the summer and there's a decision to change certifications, that's going to leave that principal out of another potential teacher. And so that's the other reason that we discourage changing throughout. Once you become a certified teacher for the state of Texas, you can get all the endorsement that you like, and you can change all the certifications that you like.
Exactly. We also want to say that if you are still kind of doubtful or confused on what you want to choose for your certification area, you should use your knowledge in the courses that you've taken in college to kind of guide that decision. We say that because there are a lot of different options, especially once you get our texting guide after this. You're going to see that there are a lot of things that you might be interested in. We recommend going back to those things that you have experience in and you use in your job. Like say if you're an engineer, you can use your math skills for that. So we really encourage that you definitely think and take time to choose which certification area you're going to go for, and that will inform your decision because it is pretty much set in stone from there. Thank you. Thank you for that question. Next question is the salary schedule for alternative certification teacher the same as other teachers? Once you were in, and thank you for this question, once you are inside the internship, it is the same. You are getting paid as a teacher in the district on a monthly basis. We have a base salary of around 50K, but there are additional stipends and incentives that are given, like say if you're bilingual, you get some additional funds. But as soon as you start the internship, you are paid as a regular teacher in the district. Only during that pre-service training are you getting paid that $3,500 because you aren't a teacher then. You're basically on that audition period. This is a really good question. We appreciate that. Thank you. So the next question is, I'm coming from a background that doesn't have teaching in it. Is that unusual or a challenge? This is a great question.
Oh, okay. This is a good question. And understand that the state of Texas recognized a long time ago that teachers who may not have been prepared to become a teacher, but they have the desire, they have the passion, they have the determination to teach others. And this is one of the reasons we're here, because we are a preparation program specifically for people who do not have a teaching background. So is that unusual for us or a challenge? No. As a matter of fact, we welcome it. Personally, I came from a totally different background when I started my teaching 16 years ago. And so this is one of the reasons we prep you. We go through real life classrooms, the mentors, the coaches. We grab you by the hand and we guide you through that 5-week audition process. And then throughout the internship year, we are there on a regular basis. We are in constant communication for any questions. And so I like the questions, but no, it's not unusual. And it could be a challenge because it is a tough year. Okay, it is a very intensive year because you not only have to meet the requirements of our program, but also all the requirements of your campus. So we have people in here. I could give you a list of all the backgrounds that we have. We have teachers,
doctors, we have psychologists, dentists, all walks of life. All walks of life. Thank you for that question. The next question, this is another really good question. I'm glad that you said this. To get my degree, I went to a couple different colleges and universities. Is the GPA calculated from both? So what we would be taking is that college that you finished in. That GPA from that is going to be a cumulative GPA because you would have to transfer your credit hours to finish at that college. So what you would do is we would take the GPA from the college that you actually got that bachelor's degree from. We know that a lot of people have masters and a lot of other colleges. We are taking that GPA from your undergraduate degree. So this was a very good question because we actually get this a lot. So we want to make sure that everybody knows where that GPA is coming from and where to find it. So when you upload your transcripts. But thank you for that question. The next question is the $3,500 stipend received during the pre-service training going to be later deducted from the internship salary? That is a great question. No, it is not. That is your pay for essentially working for those 5 weeks. So it's not like a signing bonus or um, when they give you the money in advance and then later take it out. That is your pay because you are literally going to be there full time in the morning, learning, observing, getting coached. At night, in the evening, you're going to be in the classroom learning from coaches like Arturo about how to be an effective teacher. So we know that that type of commitment, you have to have a job so that you can sustain either moving to Dallas, family, or just yourself while you're going through those 5 weeks. So that's why we give you that 3,500. But once you complete that, you're gonna be ready to go for the internship, and that's when you get paid the regular teacher salary. Thank you for that question. All right. So the next question is: after getting certified, is it a must to teach in Dallas ISD? Yes. You are given a contract from Dallas ISD that you must stay here.
Well, I think if I read the question, that after getting certified, it's a must to teach in the ISD.
Mhm.
As much as we would like to, because we have extended that opportunity. Once you become a standard certified teacher, you can teach anywhere in the state of Texas. That's plain and simple.
So we definitely encourage you, but even with the contract.
Well, if the district offers you a contract, you must fulfill the contract.
Right.
But I think the question here is, once you get your standard certificate.
Right.
We don't require you for you to stay here a year, 2 years, anything like that. Once you become a standard certified teacher, anywhere in the state of Texas is yours.
So definitely get certified. Thank you for that question. All right. Next question is, okay. What is the difference between the internship, summer learning lab, and pre-service training? This is a great question. Pre-service training is the first week of the summer learning lab. So, and the summer learning lab is that 5 week, is really taking away that pre-service training, is going to be that 4 weeks of honing those skills, that audition. The internship is the 1 year process of becoming a certified Compass teacher. So the first week is when we're onboarding, we're teaching you about what is going to be happening during those 5 weeks of intensive training. Then from there, you're going to be in the classroom. You're going to be right there in the classroom, and also later with the coordinators teaching you about the teaching techniques. And then finally, after all that has gone through and you finished up your audition, we're going to extend you the internship. And the internship is where you're given a probationary certificate so that you can teach on a campus full time.
And to elaborate more on that, David, during the pre-service, traditionally, teachers in the morning, they're in the classroom with real students that have gone to summer school or that are attending summer school. And then in the afternoons, they go to a classroom for training purposes with the coordinators. And this is where we hone in on the teach like a champion, as David mentioned earlier, teach like a champion techniques. We will focus on techniques that research has indicated is going to make a proficient teacher. After that, you're going to start the year just like a regular teacher at your campus where you have been officially hired and start your internship process. Once you're in your classroom, then the same trainers, the same coaches, will visit you on a regular basis to again assist you in classroom issues, technique issues. We will have time to meet with the principal and everything that requires us and you to become proficient and prepared for your standard certification.
Thank you for that question. Next question. When will I be notified when I'm up for review? This is a great question. So once you are coming near the end of your internship, we told you back about the roadmap. Towards the end, you will come up for certification review. You will be notified a month in advance of your status, whether your hours that you have to be completed or there's still some tests that you have to complete. We will let you know within a month of your coming to the end of your certification, whether you're going to be up for review. And during that time, we'll take all your information up to that point to the certification committee. They will review you and they will decide if you will be certified or if you will need an additional year. So it's very important that you stay on top of your work, that you are diligent in taking all the additional tests. Once you are inside the program, you do have additional tests that you have to take. One of them is the pedagogy test, which is what we call the PPR. So in some of the certification areas that you are taking require supplementals. For example, the generalist EC through 6 bilingual, you have the core subjects test that you take at the very beginning to get into the program. But after that, you will have to take the PPR, and you will also have to take the BTLTP.
Yes, the BTLPT, which is this is a complete Spanish test that the state requires from every bilingual teacher in the state of Texas.
Exactly. So just preparing yourself for those additional tests, that's what we want to make sure we give you full disclosure, and we will definitely give you a status update a month in advance before you are up for certification committee. So thank you for that question. All right. Well, we want to definitely say thank you for not only your time, but also all the questions that you asked. On behalf of Dallas ISD and the Compass team, I want to thank you for all your time and the thoughtful questions you posed. Please, please, please follow us on Twitter, Facebook to stay up to date. And if you would like more information, please contact us on our website. All of the information is right there for you. We will post this in our website and also on YouTube so that you can review this anytime you want. Go back, fast forward, or replay it just in case you didn't get all the information. We really hope to see all of your applications very soon. And once again, we're always looking for any additional questions or ways that we can help you. Just email us at the email address above, and we will try to respond as soon as possible. We just want to say thank you again.
Thank you.
All right.